Hello, my friend. Welcome to this peaceful sleep story. My name is Tony, and it is my deepest honor to be here with you tonight, to be the voice that guides you softly toward rest. I know today may have carried its weight. Perhaps it was a day of endless tasks, emotions that dance like waves in a storm, or a quiet heaviness that settled in your heart. But now, you've arrived. This moment is yours. A tender, quiet moment just for you. Close your eyes. Feel the weight of the world gently lift the warmth of your blankets, curling around you like a soft embrace. You are here in this peaceful place, ready to surrender to the calm, ready to fall into a restful sleep. Let's take a journey together. A journey into the tranquil Alps, where the snow gently blankets the earth and the air is crisp and pure. This is a land where time slows, and every step you take is accompanied by the serene silence of nature. Now imagine waking in a cozy cabin, the sun just beginning to peek over the horizon, painting the snow-covered mountains in soft hues of pink and gold. The world is still as though nature itself is holding its breath, waiting for you to begin your day. In this cabin, Sarah wakes early, as she always does. She steps quietly from her bed, feeling the warmth of the soft, thick carpet beneath her feet. There is a peacefulness in this quiet morning, a stillness that is comforting. Sarah moves to the window where the first light of the day is slowly stretching across the mountains. She watches the sun rise slowly, patiently, and with each passing moment she feels more at ease. Her hands are warm as she wraps them around her cup of tea, feeling the comforting heat seep into her palms. She takes a deep breath, inhaling the fresh, crisp air that seems to fill her heart with peace. The morning is her time, a time to reconnect with herself, to savor the simple things. Every movement is slow, gentle, as she dresses herself and prepares for the day ahead. Sarah smiles, feeling gratitude for this tranquil morning, for the opportunity to be still, to rest, to breathe. Artikon Shorizek Biden on Ballet Haniturishorisum Part 2. A quiet day unfolds. As Sarah watches the sun climb higher in the sky, she feels a gentle pull within her heart, a desire to be present, to savor each moment. She lets out a long breath, and for a moment the weight of the world seems to lift completely. Her morning unfolds at its own pace. There is no rush, no pressure, only the sound of the wind stirring the branches. Outside, a soft whisper that dances through the trees. She moves to the kitchen, her hands moving with a practiced grace, gently stirring the ingredients for breakfast. The aroma of fresh brewed tea filling the cabin. Each step she takes feels deliberate, slow, as though time itself has slowed just for her. She pauses for a moment, looking out the window once more, feeling the peace that surrounds her. The snow-covered landscape stretches endlessly, so beautiful in its stillness. The soft glow of the sunlight makes the world feel like a painting. Each brushstroke a perfect moment captured in time. Outside, the air is crisp, almost sparkling with the cold freshness that only winter can bring. Sarah breathes deeply, the icy air filling her lungs and clearing her mind, giving her the clarity she seeks. Her mornings have become a ritual, a time to unwind, to shed the weight of her busy life. For the first time in a long while, she is free from the constant buzzing of emails, the never-ending stream of responsibilities. This cabin, nestled in the heart of the Alps, has become a sanctuary for Sarah. It is here that she finds peace, a sanctuary where the only sounds are those of nature, the wind whispering through the trees, the faint call of distant birds, the crunch of snow underfoot. Each day she finds herself waking earlier, her body becoming attuned to the rhythm of the mountains. She savors the stillness of the world around her, a stillness that invites reflection, a stillness that invites rest. After breakfast, Sarah moves outside, wrapped warmly in her coat, her boots crunching softly in the fresh snow. She steps carefully, as though she is walking through a dream, each step taken in harmony with the world around her. As she walks, she feels the cold air kiss her cheeks, a reminder of the simple beauty of this moment. There is nothing here to distract her, only the mountains, the trees, and the quiet peace that envelops her. Part 3. The solitude of nature. As Sarah walks deeper into the snow-covered wilderness, she finds herself completely alone with the vast, silent landscape. The crunch of her boots against the soft powder is the only sound, a rhythmic, comforting noise that keeps her company. Her mind drifts as she walks, allowing her thoughts to roam freely without constraint. The solitude here is something she has come to cherish, a peace that she struggles to find back home in the busy rush of her corporate life. In these mountains, everything feels different. The air is clearer, the world quieter, as if it is offering her the space to breathe again. Sarah has been coming here for years now, but each visit feels like a new discovery, a chance to reconnect with herself and to find a deeper sense of purpose. She walks for a long while until she reaches the edge of the woods, where the trees begin to thin and the mountains rise higher, their peaks lost in the clouds. Here the world feels vast, the land stretching out before her in a sweeping expanse. She pauses for a moment, allowing the scenery to fill her senses. The wind stirs the snow, and the distant sound of birds echoes across the hills. For a moment she simply stands there, watching the mountains, the trees, the soft blanket of snow that covers everything in sight. It is in moments like this that Sarah feels small, but in a way that is comforting, reminding her that the world is bigger than her worries. As Sarah continues her walk, her thoughts turn inward once more. She wonders about the year ahead, about the changes she wants to make, the things she hopes to accomplish, and the balance she wants to find in her life. Her time here in the Alps has given her the clarity she craves, and she feels herself growing more and more at peace with each passing day. But still, there is a part of her that wonders, can she truly continue this pace once she returns to New York? Will she be able to hold on to this sense of calm amidst the chaos of her daily life? As Sarah nears the end of her walk, she sees something in the distance, a figure moving through the snow. Her heart skips a beat, and she squints against the sunlight to get a clearer view. It's a man dressed in a heavy snowsuit, carrying a pile of firewood in his arm. He moves with the same ease and quiet grace that Sarah has come to associate with the mountains, his figure strong and steady as he walks across the snowy landscape. For a moment their eyes meet, and Sarah feels a strange flutter in her chest. She quickly looks away, embarrassed to be caught staring. But curiosity lingers in her mind. Who is this man? Where did he come from? What brought him to this quiet corner of the Alps? Part 4. A quiet encounter. As Sarah stands there, her gaze lingering on the distant figure of the man, she feels a gentle unease settle in her chest. She wonders what he might be thinking, whether he notices her, and if he wonders about her too. The man, for his part, seems unaware of her scrutiny. He continues his path through the snow, his footsteps leaving deep prints in the soft powder. There's something familiar about his presence, something that feels like it belongs in this quiet, snowy world. Sarah hesitates for a moment, debating whether to approach or to simply continue on her own path. But before she can decide, the man's eyes meet hers once more. This time their gaze holds, and Sarah feels a subtle shift, as if the air between them is charged with something unspoken. She quickly ducks her head, embarrassed by the unexpected connections. Her heart races slightly, but she does her best to steady her breathing to remain calm. The man, however, seems to be unbothered. He shifts his gaze away from her, and without missing a beat, he continues his journey toward the trees, disappearing into the quiet of the forest. For a moment, Sarah remains still, her mind awash with thoughts and question. Who is he? What is he doing out here in this vast, silent wilderness? She can't shake the curiosity that stirs within her, but she knows she has no reason to chase after him. Instead, she turns away, her mind returning to the peace of her walk. The crisp air, the softness of the snow beneath her feet, the gentle whisper of the wind in the trees. All of these things calm her once again, reminding her of why she's here in the first place. As she walks back toward her cabin, Sarah can't help but feel a quiet sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the mountains, for the peace they offer, for the solitude that has allowed her to reconnect with herself. She knows that when she returns to her busy life in New York, she will carry this peace with her. The stillness of the Alps, the clarity she's found here, will become a part of her, woven into the fabric of her being. The snow beneath her feet continues to crunch with each step, and as Sarah nears the cabin, she sees the man once more. This time, he's walking in the opposite direction. His arms now empty the wood he was carrying, already stored inside his cabin. Their eyes meet again, and this time Sarah holds his gaze a little longer. There is something in his eyes, a quiet understanding, a recognition that she can't quite explain. He nods to her as he passes, and she returns the gesture, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. It's a small, silent exchange, but it leaves her feeling oddly connected to him. As she steps into her cabin, Sarah closes the door behind her and leans against it for a moment. Her heart still beats a little faster than usual, but the sense of calm that has enveloped her throughout the morning remains. Part 5. The Quiet Connection. Later that afternoon, Sarah finds herself standing by the large windows of her cabin, her eyes tracing the patterns of the falling snow outside. It's peaceful here, a stillness that settles deep into her bones. She watches the way the snowflakes drift slowly from the sky, each one unique, each one part of a greater harmonious whole. Her mind drifts back to the man she encountered earlier. His eyes, so calm, so untroubled, have stayed with her. There's something about him, something in the quiet way he moves through the world. She's felt that sense of peace herself today, but she wonders whether he too feels the same way, or if the quiet is just a backdrop to the deeper currents of his life. She takes a deep breath, feeling the tension of the day melt away. The afternoon sun is low in the sky, now casting long shadows across the snow-covered landscape. The fire in the cabin crackles softly, a constant reminder of the warmth within. Outside, the wind picks up ever so slightly, but is nothing but a whisper against the stillness of the world. Sarah sits down on the couch, curling her legs beneath her as she opens a book. Her eyes flicker over the pages, but her mind is elsewhere. It keeps drifting back to the man Luke she realizes from the brief exchange earlier. She's certain now that the feeling she had wasn't just a passing thought. There's something more to this. She picks up her phone to check the time. It's nearly dinner time, and yet there's this quiet urge to do something that feels just beyond her reach. Maybe it's the solitude that makes her restless, or maybe it's the curiosity about the man who seems to embody the peacefulness of the Alps so effortlessly. As she stands and stretches, Sarah decides to step outside again. She'll take a walk, perhaps find a quiet spot to sit and reflect on the day. The cabin has been so comforting, but she knows the quiet of the mountains will offer her something deeper. She slips into her coat, pulls on her boots, and steps out into the cold once more. The world is wrapped in a blanket of snow, and the air feels almost magical tonight, so crisp and clean that it takes her breath away. As she walks, she feels a slight pull in her heart, a curiosity that keeps drawing her in the direction of the small cabin she's seen Luke emerge from. She knows it's a bit silly after all, they've only shared a brief moment together, but something about the way he carries himself, the ease with which he moves through the world, makes Sarah want to know more. The cabin is just up ahead, and she sees him now walking out of the front door with a bundle of wood in his arms. Her heart gives a little flutter, and she wonders if he'll notice her. As she draws closer, Luke looks up just as she nears his eyes, meeting hers with a quiet recognition. For a moment, there's only the sound of the snow beneath their feet, the gentle breeze that stirs the air. Then he smiles a warm, easy smile that seems to brighten the cold evening around them. "Well, hello there," he says, his voice low and smooth, with a touch of amusement in it. Sarah smiles back, feeling a warmth spread through her chest at the sight of him. "I thought I'd take a walk," Sarah says, her voice soft, almost hesitant. "There's something about this place." She trails off, not sure how to finish the thought, but Luke seems to understand. "I know what you mean," he says, nodding. "The mountains have a way of making you feel at peace, don't they?" Sarah nods, feeling the truth of his words. There's a peace here that she can't quite put into words, a stillness that sinks deep into her soul. "I've never experienced anything like this before," she admits. "I'm usually always rushing, always busy. But here, everything just feels right." Luke tilts his head, a thoughtful expression crossing his face. "I think that's why so many of us come here," he says. "Not to escape the world, but to find a place where we can really listen to ourselves." The simplicity of his words resonates deeply within her. In this moment, Sarah feels as though they're both speaking the same language, as though they've found a quiet connection that transcends the need for many words. They stand there in silence for a moment, looking out at the mountains, the snow that stretches endlessly before them. It feels like the world has slowed down once again, and for a brief, fleeting moment, there is only the two of them, the snow and the mountains. Part 6. An evening shared. The silence between Sarah and Luke is comfortable, not awkward, but full of a peaceful understanding that neither can quite explain. There's something about the way the mountains have a tendency to slow everything down, allowing moments to stretch out in the stillness of the evening. For a moment, Sarah just enjoys the quiet, the soft whisper of the wind in the trees, the delicate way the snowflakes fall gently to the ground. There's something almost magical about the way the world feels in these moments, frozen in time, as though the earth itself is holding its breath. Luke clears his throat gently, breaking the silence, but it doesn't feel forced. "I was just about to make dinner," he says. "Would you care to join me? It's not much, but it's warm and cozy, and I'd be happy to have some company." The invitation is casual, offered with the same ease that has defined their time together so far. Yet for some reason, Sarah feels a warmth spread through her chest. It's an unexpected comfort, the kind that comes from being welcomed into someone's space, into their life, no matter how simple it might seem. "Sure," Sarah replies softly, her voice quiet but sincere. "I'd like that." Without another word, they walk together toward his cabin, the crunch of their footsteps in the snow providing a rhythmic soundtrack to their evening. The air is cold but not uncomfortable, and with each step Sarah feels herself growing more relaxed, her worries slipping further away as the distance between her and her own cabin grows. When they reach the small cabin, Luke opens the door and gestures for Sarah to enter first. The warmth that greets her is immediate, a stark contrast to the crisp evening air. The smell of wood smoke and something savory fills the air, and Sarah immediately feels at home. "Make yourself comfortable," Luke says, pointing to the small dining table by the window. "I'll just finish up here." Sarah walks over to the table, taking a seat in the simple chair. She notices how cozy the cabin is, how lived in yet perfectly organized. It's clear that this is a place that Luke has made his own, a place that reflects his love for simplicity and peace. She watches him move around the small kitchen, the way he effortlessly flips something in the pan, the soft clink of utensils as he works. There's a calm in his movements, an ease that Sarah envies, and as she watches him, she feels a connection, not just to him, but to the quiet, peaceful life that he's created here in the mountains. The crackling fire in the hearth casts a warm glow across the room, adding to the atmosphere of comfort and tranquility. Luke hums softly to himself as he cooks, the low murmur of his voice blending with the sound of the fire. When the food is ready, he sets a small plate in front of Sarah, a hearty meal that looks simple but delicious. They sit down to eat, the only sounds between them being the clink of silverware and the occasional sigh of contentment. As they eat, they talk about everything and nothing at all. They share stories of their lives, of their past, of what brought them to this quiet corner of the world. Sarah learns that Luke is from a small town in Montana, that he grew up in a family full of brothers, and that he's always been drawn to the simplicity of life. Luke in turn listens intently as Sarah speaks of her busy life in New York, of her work, of the challenges and rewards that come with running a successful company. She tells him about her constant need to be in control, to stay busy, to keep moving forward, and how in the quiet of the mountains she's found a peace she never knew she needed. As they finish their meal, there's a moment of quiet. Sarah leans back in her chair, satisfied, her body relaxed in a way it hasn't been in a long time. Luke pours them both a glass of wine, a deep red that smells rich and earthy. They sit together in the quiet, watching the fire, sipping their wine. There's a sense of ease between them now, as though the day's events have woven a quiet thread of connection between their hearts. Eventually, Luke stands, stretching slightly. "How about we step outside," he suggests. "The stars are out tonight. It's cold, but I think you'll appreciate it." Sarah smiles, standing up and following him out the door. She pulls her coat tighter around her, feeling the cold air nip at her cheeks, but she doesn't mind. They walk outside onto the porch, and Sarah's breath catches in her throat. The night sky is clear, the stars twinkling like 1,000 tiny diamonds scattered across the expanse. The moon is bright, its silver light casting a soft glow on the snow below. For a long moment, Sarah stands there in silence, just breathing in the cold, crisp air. It feels so different from the busy city air, from the noise and chaos she's accustomed to. Here in the quiet of the Alps, everything feels simpler. Luke stands beside her, and for the first time, Sarah notices how peaceful he looks, how perfectly at ease he is in this moment. It's as if the mountains have shaped him, molded him into someone who is content to just be. She feels that same contentment settling within her, and she realizes that this moment, this stillness, is what she's been searching for. Part 7. The quiet of the night. They stand together in the cold, letting the peacefulness of the night fill the air around them. The snow has softened again, blanketing the world in a gentle hush. The mountains, the trees, the sky, all are wrapped in a quiet that feels sacred, like a secret shared between them and the earth itself. Sarah feels as though the weight of the world has been lifted from her shoulders. The pressures of her busy life seem so distant now, so far away, that they are barely a whisper in her mind. Here, in this moment, there is nothing but the stars, the snow and the warmth that is slowly growing between them. Luke stands quietly beside her, his presence solid and comforting. He doesn't say much, but there's something about the way he is here, so present, that makes Sarah feel more at ease than she has in a long time. The stars above twinkle like tiny lanterns, lighting up the vast expanse of the sky. Sarah gazes up, her breath coming out in visible puffs of air. It's a clear night and the moon is full, casting its soft silver glow over the land. For a long while, neither of them speaks. They simply stand together, gazing out at the night, the stillness surrounding them like a cocoon. Finally, Luke breaks the silence, his voice soft, almost as if he is speaking to the night itself. You know, he begins, "There's something about the mountains that makes you feel like you're part of something bigger, like everything just falls into place when you're here." Sarah nods slowly, the truth of his words settling deeply in her heart. It's something she's felt too, This place, this time. It has a way of grounding her, of reminding her that she doesn't always have to be in control, that it's okay to let go, to simply be. Sometimes I think I forget that when I'm back in the city, she says softly. The world there is so loud, so fast. It's hard to remember what it feels like to just be still. Luke turns to her, his eyes meeting hers in the soft moonlight. It's not always easy finding balance, he says quietly, but it's there if you're willing to look for it. They stand in the quiet for a moment, and Sarah feels something shift inside her. She's not sure exactly what it is, but it's as though a door has opened, allowing her to step into something new. Luke's presence is a steady anchor, and she feels herself drawing closer to him in a way she didn't expect. There's a calmness in him that draws her in, and in his quiet strength she finds a peace that mirrors the stillness of the mountains. Without thinking, she takes a step closer, her hand brushing lightly against his. He looks at her, and for a moment the world around them seems to fade away. In the soft glow of the moon, they stand together, the silence between them filled with something unspoken, something deep and gentle. Luke smiles, and Sarah feels her heart flutter. He doesn't speak, but his eyes say everything. A quiet understanding, a connection that has grown without effort, like the snow falling silently from the sky. Slowly, he reaches out his hand, finding hers, and together they walk back into the warmth of the cabin. Part 8. A new year awaits. The fire crackles softly in the hearth, casting dancing shadows across the room. Inside the cabin, the warmth is comforting, a stark contrast to the cold, peaceful night outside. Sarah and Luke settle into the cozy space, their hands still clasped together. There's a quiet intimacy in the way they share this moment, as if the world outside doesn't exist, and it's just the two of them together in this peaceful haven. As they sit down by the fire, Luke pours them each another glass of wine, and they sit in the soft light, talking quietly about everything and nothing. The conversation flows easily, like the snow that falls gently outside, slow and deliberate. They talk about their lives, their hopes for the future, and what they want to find in the coming year. For Sarah, the time in the Alps has been a revelation. She knows she's changed in subtle ways, and the changes, though small, have brought her a new sense of peace. I think this year, she says thoughtfully, my wish is simple. She looks at Luke, her eyes soft in the firelight. I just want to keep this feeling, this peace with me, no matter where I am. Luke smiles, his eyes meeting hers with a quiet understanding. I think that's a good wish. He says, his voice low and steady. Sometimes it's the simple things that matter the most. They fall into a comfortable silence, sipping their wine, enjoying the warmth of the fire and each other's company. The snow outside continues to fall, blanketing the world in a peaceful hush. As the night deepens, Sarah finds herself feeling more content than she has in a long time. The mountains, the quiet, the connection she feels with Luke, all of it has created something new within her. She feels herself at peace, ready to embrace whatever the new year brings, knowing that no matter what, this moment will always be with her. And as they sit together, the fire flickering softly, Sarah knows that in this quiet corner of the world, she has found a peace that will stay with her forever.